Little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky, little boxes, all the same.
You're listening to Where You Live with Gene Sullivan.
Welcome back to Where You Live. I'm Gene Sullivan, broadcasting from the True North Painting Studios. The show is brought to you by Extreme Exteriors and American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency. As an American family agent, Kim believes that there is so much more to insurance than the policy itself. It's about providing you with dependable protection and services. Kim believes that trust and credibility can't be demanded. It can only be earned by what you say and what you do. Give her a call at 651-482-1598 and tell her Gene sent you. It's time now to hear from the Minnesota Multifamily Association. The MHA Minute is brought to you by Start to Finish Maintenance Contractors. Start to Finish provides 24-hour service for all your home and business maintenance needs. Call Start to Finish at 952-259-1219 for your home, for your business, for your peace of mind.
Did you know that the members of the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association, or MHA, provide over a quarter of the state's housing? That's housing for more than 1 million residents. The members of MHA agree to abide by a professional code of ethics, and they know that happy residents are key to a successful business. When you're out looking for your next apartment, remember that rental references are a two-way street. Before you rent, ask if the owner is a member of MHA. If not, ask why not, and tell them to visit mmha.com. That's two M's, mmha.com. If you're an owner or manager or even an accidental landlord, you owe it to yourself to learn how the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association, its classes, certification programs, resources, staff, and faculty can help you succeed. Don't be a good landlord. Be a great one. Visit mmha.com, mmha.com.
We're talking about this very, very important topic about a condominium association in Ohio that has some major trouble ahead of them because they are being labeled as discriminatory. And why? Only because they did not feel that it was in the best interest or worthwhile for them as an association to pursue recertification of FHA financing. And it's true, FHA financing is an important means. If I were in that association, personally, I probably would encourage them to pursue that. I do with our clients because I think it is overall to the best interests of everybody living there to have as many financial options available as possible for people when it comes to being able to purchase a home. That way, when it comes time for me and my wife to sell a home, we know that the greatest number of options of people who can afford a home would be able to do so. I am not ready, though, to make the distinction that the Ohio Civil Rights Commission is, though, in saying that if an association chooses, however, not to do it, that they are necessarily discriminating and should be labeled as such. I find this to be a very irresponsible quote by someone by the Ohio Civil Rights Commission. They said, "It's no secret in the condominium world that some associations have not sought certification by FHA because they don't want, quote, unquote, FHA-type people to apply to purchase units." I can't tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I have been in this business for almost 30 years. I have never, ever heard that statement or that kind of qualification. We don't want those types, those FHA types, from being able to purchase a unit. That is stirring the pot. That is irresponsible leadership by the Ohio Civil Rights Commission. That is not taking place. What are the reasons why an association may not wish to apply for recertification? Well, here's some of the criteria that FHA requires. How about the criteria where FHA said, well, if you want to be certified as an FHA-approved property, you can't have more than 50% of the homes rented out, because if you do, we're not going to give you FHA financing. Well, what if the association says, well, wait a minute, when we purchased our units, about 45% of the units were sold. Then the real estate market crashed. Now the developer is holding on to 55% of the units, and at this point he sold off a few of them. But the developer, who is still owning more than 50%, is renting those out. But it's a good thing because he is making that monthly assessment on all of those units so that the rest of us as homeowners are in okay financial shape. Is that a good thing? Is that a decision that an association would make that would be a good thing, as opposed to saying to the developer, we're not going to allow you to do that? And so then the developer goes away, files bankruptcy, and then the association goes down. So what I'm saying is, could there be reasons, policies, and decisions that an association is making that is for the benefit of themselves and the people, and for the government and for a regulatory agency to say, we know what's best necessarily in every single situation? I think is absurd. And I think it is clear that they have no idea. How about the idea of not only the percent of ownership? How about the contribution you make to your reserves? You know, the FHA says that a certain percentage of the money that gets taken in must be set aside for the long-range capital reserves for the replacement of items that you're responsible for collectively. What if the association says, you know what, for a period of time, because people's incomes are low, we know that we are not putting enough money in, but we will take that because we want to try and go through a time period where we want to give people a little bit of a reprieve, a little bit of a breather. If we need to do a special assessment, then I guess we'll have to do that. But don't they have the ability to be able to dictate things for themselves? The bottom line is that government does not wish to necessarily acknowledge that you, the individuals, may actually know what you're doing, nor do you have the ability to govern yourself. And I think that is so important and embedded in our society and our great nation here in the United States. Well, that's all the time we have for today's show. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of the weekend. I look forward to having you here next Saturday on Where You Live.